Okay, this video will be for the next part of our Craftsman home plan for the architecture class. Last video I showed you how to add in some doors. Later on I'll show you how to customize them as we go in and load some families and be able to put some different doors in that are more pertained or more appropriate to the house design that we're looking at and working from. We'll get back into that down the road here. I'll create a short video on where you can go to download families and bring in some more customized and customizable products. Okay, so in this case today what we're going to do is just add in some windows. I'm going to go pretty basic on this, just get the windows in the right spots, modify them as much as possible, but if not, then I'll come back and do a modification at another video time. So again, looking kind of at the floor plan, I definitely have some front windows in here. I got a set that's going to be in this little area right here. If I can get my stuff to work. There we go. Okay, so again, we're going to go to our architectural, and I'm going to go to window. Now, most of these are going to end up being centered on the walls. Okay, I'm going to make it real simple. If we wanted to, we can measure them into place, but right now we're just going to kind of get them in their spot, kind of get them centered up where they belong, finalize them down the road here, but just try to get some windows in there. In this case, get this coming wide open here. Okay, my windows are open. So right here, what I got here is a sliding double window. I think we can go into some more. I think we have different windows that we can choose from. Yep, you got different round openings. You got windows single hung, double. I'm going to go here and do some modification. Looks like we got a whole bunch up here. You got fixed. Skylights, okay, skylight ridge, just all the ones I've loaded in, skylight round, skylights, window awning, double horizontal, double vertical, window awning style. Awning styles are the ones you open, they kind of open with a handle, you kind of twist the handle. I don't want awning style. I'm going to do a casement double to start off with. This one's got a round top to it. You can get some real custom ones going here. Window casement double sash variable, so you can really define this the way you want it. In my case, I just want to keep it with the side light. This is like a double window with a side light right next to it. I don't want that. So you can see by going in and loading those families, you can get really, really into this. Casement single slide left, or in this case, I'm not going to go with that. The triple window, this would be one maybe you can use. There's one in the back of the house I may use this on, the triple with a middle transom. I'll take the transom off. Here's a triple with side transoms, all different types of ones there. I'm hoping you can go ahead and take those off of there. I'm not sure. Double hung, okay, this is really common in a lot of houses where you pull it up. Okay, you got archways. You know, double hung, double window. Okay, and this is what I'm actually going to use in the front of the house. Okay, and as you can see, you got a whole slew of them in here, and this is what happened when I went in and loaded the families up. And you could bring more of these in too, because you have little custom ones if you just hover on them. These are louvers. Okay, you can put that on, you know, if these are actually working. Okay, here's a single hung. You know, this is one where I actually just pulled up from the inside. This is probably, you know, in this case I do. Here's a double, single hung. Actually, I'll probably stick with that one. Sliding double. This is one with the slider. Basically, you slide it left or right. Okay, depends on the house. In this case here, I actually am looking at the front view of this one. I think I'm going to go with the sliding double because that's what it looks like here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Pick on this one right here, which I did. Okay, I'm going to go to Edit Type. Just kind of look at it and take a brief, you know, moment to size it up. It takes a second for it to load. Hopefully, I can get this figured out. All right, so here's what we got going on. Interior metal, you know, you can do all the interior stuff. Outside's white, inside, exterior trim is also white, that's fine. We got glass in here. Mutton visibility, we'll have it on. I'm not sure if we can actually modify the mutton stuff. Those are the mutton bars are the ones that are the kind of cross, and you can define those. The mutton pattern here is 2x2, and looking in this view here, it looks like they're all 2x2s, so that's perfect. You know, basically flat. Okay, there. Let me go just going down a little bit. The window width. I'm going to do a 5-foot window. That looks about right. And then I'm going to go for height. Instead of 4 foot, I'm going to make this a 6 foot. I think that was rough width. I think that'll be okay. I'm going to do an apply. And really what I should have done is duplicate this instead of a 60 by 48, because now it's all screwed up. I should have changed the size of this. What you should actually do is, this should be a 60 by 48 inch. I'm going to go ahead and keep that and say apply. Okay, but I'm going to duplicate a window. Okay, this one though, I'm going to call it a 60 by, so 5 feet by 72 inches. Okay, so that way I can create a whole different one. So it will actually add this window in, modified into my, into our actual family. So you can actually take an existing window and modify it. If you duplicate it, you can then make it into one of the windows or one of the window choices in here. And that way you can continue. So if you knew there's a whole bunch of different size windows, but you want to base it off of one window, you just keep duplicating it and changing out your sizes and all your materials. Okay, all I have to do here then to finish this is go here and make this a 6 foot window. I'm going to say okay. And at this point, I'm going to kind of just drop it into the spot right here. And again, you know, it just depends. I'm going to kind of pick this up so it's right in the middle at 5'9" by 5'9". I'm going to call that the center of the room. Left click, and there's my window. Okay, now again, I like to take peeks at my house as I'm doing this. So I'm going to go back up to these here. I think it's the south side of the house. So in this case, and you can actually drop the windows in here also. In this case, I can tell you the window, I think in my estimation, is too high. I'm actually going to drop it down because it should be equal with the size of the front door. So the top of it should be pretty much the same level as the top door. So what I'm going to do here is escape it. I can actually do this here. I can change where sill height is. This is the sill right here. The height between it and the ground right now is 3 feet. I can change that, let's say, to 2 feet. Bring that down. You can see it starts getting down here a little bit. And that's probably where it's supposed to be. So that tells me what I think I really should do is change this window to a, in this case, oops, let me get rid of this. I'm actually going to go back, highlight, oops, click on that window. I'm going to go back and edit this window real quick. I'm actually going to duplicate it again and go with a 60 by 60. I think that's what this is. Okay, and then I'm going to change it from 5 feet and 6 feet high to 5 feet high. Enter and say OK. Okay, and that looks more correct. That looks about where this level with the door, and that's about what I see in the drawing. I may fine-tune this a little bit more, but that's what it should look like, is it was almost level on the top with the door here. And I suppose if I put a door frame around like the one they have, it would end up leveling it out with the top, because they have a pretty good-sized door frame around this. Okay, so that's pretty much all you have to do right there. So there's my window now. Okay, in this case, it's showing the window opening this way. I could probably modify it and flip to the other side. I'm just trying to see where I can find that. Main floor. I wonder if I have to do it in my main floor plan. So I'm going to look at this. I can. So you can flow the arrows basically one way or the other. So now the window's going to open this way. It's up to you. I'm looking at the floor plan. Honestly, I can't tell which way it opens. So it would really be your preference that you would want here. Maybe it'd be best to go ahead and flip it the other way. I'm okay with either one. So this is the window that will actually slide. This one's fixed. This one will be a slider, so it will slide back. That way the wind comes in. Okay? I'll call that good. All right? Hit escape, and now I've got my first window in there. So now I'm going to go to the family room, and I'm going to put a window back here. I'm going to use a triple bank. All right? So again, I'm going to go to my windows here, and now I'm going to start going down again through all these choices that I have. I want to find that triple, if I can find it again. And I thought it was somewhere up in here. Window double hung. Not sure if they had these double casement triple side. Awning double. Hold on. Where was that triple? Casement single left. Triple with a middle transom. I could probably get away with something like that, but I want to see if I can find a triple. Double. Double, sliding. Okay, so what I may have to do is I may just go ahead and play with this one. They do have some views at the back of the house, and I'm looking at those windows right now from the back view on the piece of paper. You probably can hear me shuffling it. These ones don't have buttons on them. These are just straight up glass windows. So I may actually go up to that triple and see if I can modify the transom. With the middle transom, the middle transom, come on, come back. Middle transom. And I'm going to do like a 72 by 53 and try that. I'm going to kind of go in here and do edit and see if there's anything you can do with the middle transom. Height, 4 feet 5. We'll see if that works. Frame material, metal, aluminum. Okay, we'll go with that. Glass. Just looking to see if there's any other ways I can go in here. I think there's some other ones I can do, but I'm not sure if there is others out here. I'm not sure if I can widen this and see if there's any other values in there. Fire rating, half hour, so it's a high rating. Assembly code, half hour, window. Default sill height, 3 feet. Looking at the back of the house, these look about the same size as the ones over in the front. So I'm actually going to drop this down to 2 feet because these look really big, and I'm probably going to change that window to a 5-foot window instead of 4'5", but I cannot see. Frame gap is at about 1 5/8. It's about right. Looking at the picture, it's not very big. And I guess what I'll do in this case is I'm going to duplicate this from a 72 by 53 to a 72 by 60. And this is just my preference. And again, this is just me playing. We'll see if it works. The problem is I just want to go through in here and I just want to know parameters. If there's any way I can change the way that looks. I'm just going to say preview. And it looks like I'll have to keep it like that. I'm going to find some way I can get a triple window. This is what I want it to look like, just without that extra bar. So what I'll end up doing is probably come back and re-editing this, and that's fine. But I just want to get it over here. And again, this is one where it's like an awning window, which I don't want. I want a slider. I don't want this to open that way. I'm looking at the schematic. I probably can make this even a little bit bigger. Looking at this, I should probably have centered it up a little bit better. I can actually drag this to where I'm going to see it at about, that's pretty close. No, maybe right about there. I may have to dial that one in a little bit better. But in this case, I'm also going to go in here. Sill height 2, head height 6'5". I'm actually going to go in here, windows. Let's see. I'm just looking to see what else I can do. I'm actually going to go with a different size one. What was the sizes I had here? 72 by 60. I'm going to go 85 by 60. That's probably more appropriate. Okay, and then if I change that to 85 by 60, yeah, 85 by 60, 7'8", that's not bad. I could probably adjust it by 2 inches. But what I don't like is I don't like that it's opening this way. It's an awning type. So what I'd have to do is probably do some adjusting and find a window where it's like, in this case, I'm looking at these back windows. I don't even know if these things move. They may be awning type, from what I can tell. They honestly look almost like plate glass windows looking from this view here. So again, if you want to see this from the north, there are those windows. I like it because it's at the same height as that door. The only thing I want to do is get rid of this eventually and have a nice smooth door right there. Okay, so continuing back into my main floor plan, just looking at a couple more. Looks like I need a couple little small single windows. These ones will be smaller. These are going to be, I don't think these are ones open unless you want them to open. So I'm going to just do a couple single little windows there. So they're in there. I do notice this doesn't look like it's centered up, and it isn't. So I'm going to try to get a little bit closer. That looks better, so that the windows kind of fit in the right spot. These windows look from the drawing here, probably about 2 feet tall. About the same height as just the other two. So I'm going to make this new window. I'm going to make these pretty small. I'm just going to do single windows. And I'm going to do casement windows. Casement meaning they don't move. So double hung, casement, those were, okay, casement, window fixed, top arch. I don't want a top arch to it. So I'm going to just do window fixed, fixed transom, fixed louvers, single hung, window square opening. I don't want the openings. All right, come on. There's got to be a fixed one in here. It's just a square, rectangle. I don't want the arch top. Window fixed. Here we go. Okay, 24 by 36. What we're going to do in this case is I'm going to edit the style here. I don't want the muttons to be shown. This is going to be clear glass. So where it says mutton visibility, I'm going to uncheck that. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate. Actually, I'll turn that on. Sorry, I'm going to duplicate this one. So I'm going to make this a 24 by 60, I think is what I've been doing, 60 inches, and say OK, and we may change that. I'm going to get rid of the mutton bars. Clad white, wood stains fine, clad white on the outside. The height of this then will be 5 feet. I'm just looking to see where the starting point of this is. Sill height, I'm going to go, in this case, the same thing. I'm going to say OK. Change the sill height to 2 feet like I've been doing with the other ones to make it a little more open. And then I'm just going to kind of throw it, and I'm going to kind of blow up on this so I can kind of see where I'm at. 2 foot 3, that looks right about centered there. I'll throw another one over here, somewhere about centered on that inside wall there. That looks pretty close, and I'm going to call that good. Okay, so again, take a peek at it. I'm going to go to the north side of the house, and there are my 2 side windows. And that's very similar to what I see in the back of this drawing here. Okay, hopefully that will be what you see too. All right, so we're getting there. We're almost done with the windows. So now at this point, I'm going to go ahead, go back to my floor plan. Looks like the office needs a bank of windows. Looks like it has a couple double banks of windows on both of the corners. So if I'm looking over here, I have a bank of windows here and a bank of windows here. Looking at the back of the house in that office side, these are going to be a little bit smaller because they got to be above the desk. There's going to be a desk that's built in here, so we don't want these going so low. These need to be above the desk. It'd be kind of cool and hip if you had your desk going across the window, I suppose. You have almost like feel like you're outdoors when you're working. But in this case, a desk height sits at 36 inches. Approximately, maybe 34. So we have to have the sill height above that. So we're probably going to make the sill height at 4 feet. So that makes the window a little bit shorter instead of the 5 foot by 2. So we're going to go 4 foot. So these ones look like they're probably 36 inches tall. So I'm going to actually go 36 inches with a 4 foot sill height. But we're going to go ahead and make those the 5 foot width. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and again do windows. I don't want fixed windows here. I actually want windows at work. So we're going to do a window double hung. We'll just do something a little bit different. In this case here, we're going to go 48 by 42. That wouldn't be bad. It's 3.5 feet, so 6 inches above the desk. That's probably about right. 48 inches wide. Looking at that back window there. Looking at the drawings here. I'd say they're about the same as the front, so I'm going to change this. So in this case, I'm going to go to the edit type. I'm actually going to duplicate this to a 42 by 60. So in this case, I'm going to go duplicate. I'm going to change this to 48 or 60 by 42, excuse me. 60 by 42, make it a little bit wider. And say OK. I'm going to leave everything else the same. I'm just going to make the width instead of 48. I'm going to go 5 feet here. The height will be at 3'6". I still want the sill height here at, let's say 3'6". So I'm going to say OK. I think I'm going to make this at 3'6". That'll be 6 inches above the desk height. And then I'm going to go ahead and try and place these. Okay, I'm going to try to put it right in the middle of the wall. That looks exactly centered, 5'2" and 3/16, 5'2" and 3/16. And I like how Revit basically kind of gives an idea and gives you dimensions so you can see how close you are to the center. I'm going to pick one right here. And then I'm going to go over here and do the same exact thing, 5'2", 3'6" by 5'2", 3'6", and click right here. Now this bank may actually be bigger. Looking at the blueprint, it could be a little bit wider, but I'm going to go ahead and let this be the way it is. Maybe I'll change this one. because I don't know what the side of the house looks like. The windows look exactly the same. I see the corner of the house in one of the views here. These are exactly the same windows. Okay, so again, let's check it out from the north. So there's my windows. They're on the same height. That's perfect. The desk will be sitting right about 6 inches below it. Okay, so I'm going to go to my west. No, let's go to the east. There's the other windows. Okay, so there's your other windows on the other side of that. Okay, so if we're going back to the main floor plan, at this point, I have all the windows. I have all my doors. Now again, I'm going to go ahead and do some downloading of new families because I want to restructure my garage. I want the garage to be similar to these where they have the mutton windows on the top level. So I'm going to look for that, modify the front door a little bit, and start looking for some of the things that have been a little bit updated to get some of these windows in a better position of what they should be. Okay, but at this point, I have all my windows in place. They're pretty much about where they're supposed to be. I like their location. I like their sizes right now. So at this point, we're going to call this part good. So now at this point, we have our main floor level at least mostly dimensioned. We have the interior walls in. We have the interior doors in. And exterior doors. We have our windows put in. Our things are pretty much dimensioned. We have our garage doors taken care of. Again, at this point, we have a pretty rough idea of what the house is going to look like here. The next video, I'll go through and start talking about how to download some families so we can customize our windows. Because I definitely still want to make this a sliding glass door. I don't want this to be opening this way. I would rather these be sliders. And so we'll do some modification in the next video. And then the following videos after that, we'll begin putting in our stuff for the bathroom and our kitchen to start making this house fill out. With that said, that's all I got on this one. So I want you to go ahead and get these windows added in along with your doors, and then we'll take a screen capture of this and submit. Good luck. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask.